Hey, what's going on, guys? Recently I had a request from one of my subscribers who asked me to help him within his code to provide the crawling logic for the list of websites, which I already did yesterday and mailed him, and I hope that helped really. Well, I really hope so. But the task that he was trying to accomplish seemed to me quite pretty interesting in terms of from the beginner's perspective. So he was working on a charity project where he needed to extract the data from the various websites, uh, and the data to extract was actually the phone numbers and the emails. And he was going to do this using the regular expressions. And here a couple of big two big topics arising. So the first one is the site crawling itself, which more regards to crawling, well, maybe web scraping, well, maybe not. Well, crawling is crawling, right? And the other part is regular expression itself, and there are really huge this sick books regarding regular expressions. So it's really complicated topic, even though you can use some kind of simple expressions to match the simple patterns, but still if you wrote a regular expression, there always exists a far better solution compared to what you've created, basically. And to my personal opinion, it's the real art to be able to create your own regular expressions covering literally every single possible pattern within the scope of the data you're looking for. So, but nevertheless, it's really complicated, and me personally, I'm not an expert in regular expressions at all. I just understand the very basics. But why am I doing this tutorial? I don't know why, but for some reason it happens that many developers are getting into web scraping, not with starting writing some code and selling their code, but instead with actually trying to sell some data containing the context. And I personally know kind of a couple of developers who really did follow that way before becoming actually more like experts in web scraping. So getting the contact data is really kind of is the task that really can be encountered kind of out there. So it's really oh my god, I just forgot the correct word to say. So there is lots of contact extraction requests out there on the market, right? So on this web scraping niche. So really, it's really interesting, and it's really kind of requested topic, being requested quite a lot. So the code I'm supposed to write today in this video is not about to be the code let me just explain what the problem is. When I was doing really numerous web scraping tutorials, I was kind of sharing the code, and what I've encountered that people don't really watch the videos. They're just trying to grab the code and trying to apply that code to their own purposes without getting through the explanations of what exactly is going on there, how exactly it goes, and so on. And then they mailing me and asking why this doesn't work, why that doesn't work. And the recent example that I've been talking about at the very beginning of this video is actually the guy used my web scraping code for extracting data from Zoopla UK real estate properties, and he didn't even rename the class name. So he was accomplishing his task while the class name was remaining like Zoopla scraper, and that was really weird. A blind copy pasting. Even for code monkey king like me, that's a little bit too much. So it's really good to understand of what's going on under the hood. So that's the reason why I basically stopped sharing the source code in most of my videos recently, because I really want you to go through the process and try to understand of what's going on under the hood. And if you type in the code from screen, well, at least you're kind of have more chances to understand of what's going on under the hood instead of the blind copy pasting, and at least you'll get far more understanding regarding what exactly the code does. So in this video I would like to follow the same pattern and basically try to explain of the regarding the very basics of how the things work, both sides, the crawling basics, site crawling basics, along with the regular expression basics, and try to make this tutorial as beginner friendly as possible. So I'm not going to be using complicated object-oriented approach as I usually do in all my videos basically, and I will really try to keep things as simple as possible. So if you're interested, let's actually start running some code. So here in the current working directory I have two files, the contact.py, which is the empty source file that we're supposed to write be writing code in, and this websites.txt is the plain txt file that we're using actually to extract the data. So we will be extracting the email and the phone from this kind of site. So let me just quickly show you this. So we just grab the site URL and paste this and going through, and here I will just simply try to find some email and contact information, and here it is basically. So here we have this justice.org.uk, and basically the phone numbers. So we'll make use of the very first one, but just to be aware of what exactly we're supposed to be doing here. Okay, so the very first thing to consider, we need to import some packages. So we'll need to import requests to make outgoing HTTP requests, and then from VS4 import BeautifulSoup, which would be used in order to parse the recursive contact links, which is not always essential, but sometimes it helps. So BeautifulSoup here. Also, we'll need to import the regular expressions, the JSON module to pre-print the extracted data, and also the CSV module to actually store the store the output, store the results into the output CSV file there. So next thing to consider is actually we need to load the data from this website's file. So what we need to do here is actually, I just simply say load website URLs. So we can simply say with open and websites.txt, and we want to read the file stream as file, and also we need to provide links, website URL links. So let's call this URLs. At the moment it would be the type of Python string basically, but later on we'll convert this to the list. So we can simply say for line in f.read. So f is the file stream, remember that. And here we can simply say URLs plus equals and the line itself. Now if we have a look at the URLs, so let's just try to bring them, URLs, and also I need to open the terminal in the current working directory. So I can simply say python3 contact.py. So we have the list of our URLs, but this is the plain string, while we need to make it as a list. So if I just say URLs.split by the new line, so it would probably give me some empty results along the way, I guess. Yeah, a couple of. So we just need to filter those, and in order to do that we can simply say list filter and filter none and this like. So now we hopefully would obtain the same list but without the empty URLs. This is great. Okay, so at this moment we don't basically need to print anything, but we can simply say that URLs would now equal to this list. So we'll just convert the string to the list, and we just try to print our URLs again. Then we will see it again. Great. So here I can say convert string to list of URLs. Okay, so now we need to loop over the URLs in order to make an ongoing HTTP request to each of them, and then trying to either extract data directly or recursively try to find the contact link, basically. So we'll start with the looking for the contact link, and if that fails, we'll be looking for the data just in the home page. So here I say loop over URLs, and we can simply say for URL in URLs. So let's just try to print each one first to make sure they look appropriately. Great. And now we can simply say, so here we need to make HTTP request to the URL. So I'm creating the response variable that would hold the response object, and here we can simply say requests.get, and we're using the URL as the first argument, and well, this is basically just enough for our purposes at the moment. And also now we need to parse the response, basically. So here I say parse response, and here we can say creating a content variable that would be equal to beautiful soup and response.text, and also we need to use the LXML parser here to parse the content if it's malformed or something. So LXML parser is really great, but don't forget to say like just by the way, in order to make this work, so you might not have request and Beautiful Soup being installed, so let me just quickly show you this. You might be using just pip install command like this if you're on Windows, I guess, but on Linux I need to say sudo pip3 because I have many pips installed, and install, and then just list requests and bs4 and LXML, and just hit enter. And obviously I already have all of them installed. Request invalid requirement. Okay, sorry, probably this commas are not needed. Okay, let's try one by one. Pip install requests. So you see like the requirement is already satisfied. Well, then if we just go for the BS4, it's absolutely the same, and then if we just go for LXML, that's again the same. So just make sure that you've installed all the dependencies, of course. And what are we supposed to do now? So as far as we did parse our content, we just simply try to print our content. Then eventually we'll see the HTML responses. We'll see eventually the HTML responses from every single website. And what we need to do now is actually we need to try to extract the contact link. Like, you know, like the sites usually have links like contact us or just contact or whatever. So we just copy this and going over in here. Then obviously we have a contact already on the home page, and in the example sites all the contacts would be scraped basically from the home page. But just to make you being aware of the crawling techniques, I just want to show you that let's just find this contact, press contact. I'm not sure if actually contact is available on this site in particular. I'm not really that sure. About us. So it has to be like a contact. Okay, let me just try to pick up another site. So just copy this, and well, maybe this one has contact. So do you mean that there is no contacts? Oh, come on. Well, at least some should have. Well, this definitely should have. Come on. This is really strange when the site doesn't have the contact tab there. Does this one help have contact? Where is that? Oh, contact us. Yeah. So here is what I was talking about. Like they have the contact. They have a contact URL. It's not always giving you exactly what you want actually, and it's not always kind of the phone might be here, or the phone might be actually on the home page. But as far as this is kind of crawling sensitive topic, and I just really want to cover it, so just want to show you how to extract this, how to find this contact links using, again, the regular expressions, by the way, and at least trying to crawl them, maybe not extracting data, but just trying to crawl them as well. So here we'll say extract contact link, well, if available, of course. So we'll say contact, it would be equal to content dot find. So we're looking for the only one element, not find all, but just find, and we assume this is gonna be a tag, and the text would be equal to regular expressions compile, and we're looking for contact, right? And also we need to say ignore case, so it might be from the uppercase, from the lowercase, whatever. Okay, so just some missing parentheses, I believe. So text. Okay, it's not over here, right? And now we try to close this, and also we need to try to extract the h reference. So it might not be available everywhere, so we probably need to enclose this into the try except statement. But first, let's try actually print our contact to see if anything has been extracted or not. Actually, is not subscriptable. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. So it's not always available here. Justice org. For some reason, it extracts some press contacts. This is interesting. Justice org. Well, this is interesting. Nevertheless, as I already was mentioning, there is always an improvement for the regular expressions, match patterns, of course. But I'm just wondering. Let me just have a look at. The link he has created there. So copy, and let's have a look. Press contacts. Yeah, this might be interesting. So yeah, some emails as well, a Verizon, and some, yeah, this is interesting. So this might make sense at some point as well. Okay, and as I was already mentioning, so we need to actually say try, and accept. So we'll just pass this, and if we have contact, then okay, but here let's also bring the response.url, so to just understand which in particular URL we're crawling now. So some would have contact pages, some not. So justice.org UK and this guy do have the contact. So now we need to generate the link to crawl. So in the first case we can use the link directly, and the second case we need to generate this dynamically. And let me just show you how we can achieve that goal. So here we can simply say that if HTTP in contact, this means that we have a full-blown URL basically, so we don't need to append anything, so we can just directly crawl it. Let's just print URL is okay and contact, and else we just print URL is not okay and contact. Okay, so this is what we got here. And in case now we need so we'll create the variable called contact URL. In this case it would be equal just to contact, because everything is just fine there. But in this case contact URL would be equal to contact URL would be equal to response URL, which is the base URL we just crawled, plus contact. But this is not yet it, and let me just show you why. So we just print our contact URL, and let's have a look. So you see like this double slashes. So in order to avoid this, we need to get rid of, we need to look from the very first element and excluding the very last one within the response URL, and this time we'll get the right contact. And from now on we can actually crawl this URLs. So here we can create let's call this response contact, and here we can say again like requests.get and contact URL. So here we can say crawling contact URL recursively. Okay, so as far as we can crawl it recursively, yeah, and here we can simply just let's print response dot contact, just to make sure that we're having the 200 response, which means that we did actually get the correct response. So here it is, basically we have the 200 responses here. And just to distinguish between these two crawling processes, let's print here crawled base URL, and let's specify actually have the response.url, and here we can say actually crawled contact URL and response contact.url. Okay, so like you see that we crawled the base URL justice.org UK, then we did extract the context for justice.org UK, and then again the base URL, this matter, I can read this, and we couldn't find any context. Well, maybe because of the poor regular expression, but nevertheless. Then we're going to this one, and we found a contact, corresponding contact, and also we've crawled the very last one and didn't find anything there. So from now on, when the crawling logic is more or less completed, we can basically move to creating the regular expressions to extract our data. So again, the regular expressions I'll be using here, I will just compose them myself right in the moment. Let me just try to grab somewhat a real email that we're supposed to use, because this one is not what we need actually. So remember that I'll just try to use as simple regular expressions as possible and explain on how they work, just to give you a clue how to work with regular expressions, because blind copy pasting of regular expressions might result undefined behavior in your code basically. So even if you're using somebody's regular expressions, it's really useful to understand how they are being composed basically. So I'll just give you a very brief instructions on how to extract patterns like the phone numbers and this email addresses basically. So I will use the ones that I'll create here in this code, but remember that they are really poor and they are more written for clarity rather than for the production. So remember, there is always an improvement when you're writing irregular expressions, as was mentioned numerous times on this video already. So the very first thing, first we'll be extracting, trying to match the patterns of the regular expressions. So I can just add some words, like assuming that this is not just like you know, this standalone, but within some sort of a text. And same we can do like in here basically. So like this. So we're looking for whatever character. Well, before that, we need to match the group, right? Group and whatever is in the parentheses would be considered to be a group basically. So we're looking for whatever characters, and we're using this plus sign to say that we're looking not for the only whatever character, but the set of whatever characters, like here. And then we're looking for the at symbol, and then again we're looking for whatever element and there may be a lot of those. Then we obviously need the dot. So if I just make dot like this, it would match, but it's not the right way. We need actually to use this escape character in the dot to say that we're matching exactly the dot. Otherwise, this means match whatever character, not only the dot. So we need to escape this, and then again whatever, and many times, and then we're using the dot again, and finally whatever many times again. So this is how we're supposed to use our regular expressions. And again, as was already mentioned, this is really poor, so it's not really gonna work everywhere, but this is gonna work in the examples provided in this video, and that's kind of fairly enough. So now I can just simply grab the entire expression and copy this, and now we go. So the main data would be extracted from the home page, but I just want to show you that we can also print some data from the contact page, not from the home page. So this would be the duplicated. I'm not going to be writing this to the data structure, but just to show you that actually this is possible. So if here we'll create the email variable that would be equal to, sorry, not like this. We can simply say regular expressions, find all, and here we're using this pattern here. And I forgot one thing, so we also need to provide the variable we're looking for this expression at. So let's call this contact content, and again this would be equal to beautiful soup, and we're using res contact dot text. We're using the LXML parser, and also we need to get all the text from the content. So just before extracting this email, let me comment this out and try to print contact content. So I hope to see only the text. It would also extract the text from the scripts and the style text, which is not really that great, but still. Okay, so probably I did something wrong because it just throws an exception, but I can see it. Exception E print exception. So let's have a look what in particular he doesn't like here. So beautiful soup is not defined. Oh, I just misspelled this. Beautiful soup. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it seems like we just extracted basically all the text from the content. So this get text standard beautiful soup method is really useful here. Okay, so now we're using this is the type of string, so we're using this as the reference of the given string we're supposed to extract our patterns from. So I provide here contact content, and well, let's consider, well, we can actually if we not consider the very first element like this, we'll match really lots of basically all the available emails on the page. So I'm not sure if we should have do that or not. Let's try to print okay, let's try to print the emails. Let's start from the new line, and here we say emails like this. So just to see how it's supposed to look like. Okay, emails is not defined. Okay, it's really not. Okay, so you see, like, yeah, it really does extract kind of lots of emails. So the user can pick up the one he likes, basically. So well, I'll probably leave this just as is, and also we'll need to extract the phone numbers if available. So now let's go to create the phone number. So again, we want to match the group of pattern. Well, not the group. We're extracting the group of whatever is within the parentheses. So we're looking for the digits only, and we're looking for the range of from 3 to 4 digits, and then we're using the space as a delimiter. It's not really that great, I know, but just for the clarity purposes, just to extract the particular numbers we're having in the sites, in the example sites, I'll be using this sort of stuff, and just literally again the same, and decimal number in range from 3 to 4, and the last time again the same. So now we've just matched all of our numbers. So I just grab this regular expression as well, and now I'll say phone, let's call this phone emails, yeah, and this emails, and this would be the phones. So regular expressions, find all, and paste here, and contact content, and also want to print phones. I'm not sure if it actually extracts the reasonable data, but I hope so. So phones, save. So let's actually try to have a look. Well, okay, it seems like he really extracts the reasonable data out of there, which is really pretty nice. I'm wondering the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 numbers. Well, maybe some being duplicated, maybe not. Not sure. Yeah, this one was duplicated, but this doesn't really matter that much. So just for clarity, I would like to say that we can actually create the like CSV file dependent logic when just right over here. So I don't know, maybe I just don't really, I want to make it for the clarity purposes, not for, well, okay, so just bear in mind that this is the tutorial, not the production ready code, basically. Okay, in any case, I just want to grab copy, just want to grab these emails and phones, and going back over here where we've just parsed, yeah, where we've just parsed our home base URLs. So here again, I can't use the get text here because we're using this content to extract the link. So instead I will say get text over here. So content dot get text, and again, so here we'll say contact, just to distinguish that we're looking for these guys within the contact page being crawled, and here okay, also need to add some commentary. So extract contact data, okay, and also emails. Okay, so also we need to say extract contact data over here. So response contact request get, yeah, great. So okay, and this would be home page. So home save. So now let's try to run this again and to see what we're actually supposed to have. So we have the URL, this just is org uk. We have emails being extracted from the home, and phones extracted from the home as well, and then he did crawl the contact, yeah, and he also did actually manage to yeah, to have some. Well, you know what, guys, I would probably just try to store all the data, even though it would be duplicated at some point, but just for the clarity purposes, I guess that would be the better solution. Okay, known type is not subscriptable, so somewhere it also gives an error. Oh, well, that's because we're printing that, so that's just fine. So if something is not available, it just doesn't print it. Okay, and again the home. So here we did extract phones from the home, but nothing from the contact, which happens quite often as well. And here we're extracting from the contact, and here from the home. So somewhere both, somewhere the only one. So well, I guess I will probably just provide the data structure containing all of these guys. So let's call this emails home, and here respectively emails home and emails home, phones home, right? And here would be contact, emails contact, and emails. Oh my god, what have I done? Contact, like this. And basically here I'll say store data to the dictionary. Yeah, so let's maybe call this create a data structure to store contacts. So can we call this contacts today? Yeah, it seems like the variable name is free, so contacts would be equal to, and here we'll say like emails home, copy paste, emails home would be equal to emails home, and phones home would be equal to phones home. Okay, and what else? Also, we'll be appending, maybe let's make it like, okay, so emails contact would be empty for now, and phones contact would be empty as well for now. So phones contact, they would be empty as well. Okay, great. So here we can actually say we can append contacts to contacts. Okay, append additional contacts data. Okay, so we can simply say contacts and reference this by email contact. This would be equal to email contact and also contacts and phones contact equals to phones contact. Okay, and I'm just wondering where exactly am I supposed to print the entire data. So let me just try to comment these guys out and try to comment these guys out as well, and at the very end here I just want to say print, and now JSON dumps and contacts, and I'm using the indentation equals to 2 spaces just to print the data structure. So let's see if we have something interesting here. Okay, so here we have emails extracted from the home page, phones extracted from the home page, emails extracted from the contact. Okay, great. And also I guess also phone contact. I guess it's also would be nice to even though the URL seems to be available here, but I just want to explicitly define this. So just here within the home page, so let's call this website, and here we'll be using response.url. Okay, so, and also I just want to see where the one ends and the another begins actually. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so here is the element actually. So we have the website, phones, home, emails, contact, phones, contact, and the website. Right, now this is nice. Now this is really nice. Okay, crawling. Okay, this is great. So from now on we can actually start implementing the logic of writing the CSV files. So here we'll say store data to CSV file. So first we need to create a file stream to write a file. So I say with open contacts dot CSV, and we want to append the, not to write, we want to append the file stream every time we did extract one, right? So as file here, and now we need to create CSV writer object. So I say writer equals CSV. I'm using the dictionary writer because it allows us to reference using the column names basically, which is perfect when we're having the when we're dealing with a list of dictionaries. So basically here we have the dictionary and we just bring this like as a list. We're not appending this, but still, let me just explain what I mean by saying this. So okay, dict writer, it takes the file stream, the first argument, and also we need to provide the field names as the second argument, and this would be equal to contacts, and every dictionary in Python has the inner keys method that would return the column names like website emails, home emails, emails home, phones home, emails, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So now what we can do actually, now we all left here is actually, we can say append row to the CSV, and here we say simply writer dot write row, and we're using contact, right? Contacts. Okay, now I hold my breath and I'm just trying to run this one more time and hope to see the CSV contact CSV in return. So let's have a look. Okay, so the website, and then we're having this list. Okay, so in order just not to not having this square brackets in the CSV file, I would like to add a little bit more code. So I can simply say here we can say we're using the separator of comma followed by empty space, and then simply saying join and whatever over here, and same over here. So just join and this, and the same here, join. Okay, and like this. So let me try to see this again if it works. Okay, reload. Okay, now it seems like we're having, okay, but why we're using this, where this comes from, I'm wondering. This double quotes, I'm not sure where the double quotes are coming from. Let me just try to understand that. So just bring this again. Not really sure. So hold on. So emails, this one and this one. Okay. Phones and 3. Okay, I would probably just try to open this using the LibreOffice and just to see how exactly the data looks like. Okay. So well, here it looks perfectly well, basically. Oh, I understand. So yeah, of course, those double quotes needed just to avoid considering these commas to be the separators, but instead they are just yeah, just the list of data. So that's perfectly well. That's the CSV module standard feature as well. Well, okay, guys. So let me just close this and delete this contact CSV. Delete. And we don't need to print anything anymore. And the only thing, so we can actually print output, and again like print JSON dumps and contacts and indentation equals to 2 spaces, and run again. So we'll be able to see what actually we're storing. So the website, emails home from homepage, phones from homepage, emails from contact, phones from contact, and then the crawling logic here, so what exactly we've been crawled. And finally we write the CSV file. So well, we could have actually print another message, but I don't think that's really needed. So close without saving. So let's have a look at the context.csv again, and now we have like the site name extracted from home page things, and also if available it also have some emails extracted from the contact page and some phones extracted from the contact page as well. One last thing to consider, well, that we don't actually have the headers explaining what exactly data we have here, but I guess I won't be doing this. So the very actually simple way of doing that is just to simply provide the headers manually like this. Just get rid of all of this data and simply say in here like website and then home URL contacts home and contact, oh, it's not contacts home, it's actually contacts email. Well, okay, that would be too long, so let me just make another little trick. So we can say right headers. The problem is that we need to do this only once, but I don't really want to spend time on explaining how exactly to distinguish between if the file exists or not. I did this before many times in my previous videos. So let's say writer dot write header. Okay, it already has to be here. Contact CSV. Yeah, here it is. Control X, Control V, save, and now I actually just can comment this out and run this one last time, and now hopefully to see everything working just fine. So okay, yeah, it seems like. So now we have the website, the emails home, phones home, emails contact available, and phones contacted if available. And just again to say the same, that this data is extracted recursively from the contact page, and if available, and this data is extracted from the home page. So you to judge and you to choose, guys, where you would like to scrape your contacts data from. This is it from my side. I hope you've learned something interesting regarding regarding extracting the contacts from the websites using Python, Requests, BeautifulSoup, and regular expressions. I wish you all the best. So until the next time, and take care.